Welcome to News Video Clip. The Iran war is now entering its eighth week. And for the past 6 weeks, President Trump has been promising us that the war would come to an end very soon. Well, of course, it hasn't. And you can thank his failed negotiators, his idiot son in law, Jared Kushner, who has no diplomatic experience, his idiot vice president, J.D. Vance, who has no foreign policy experience. They've absolutely done a terrible job in negotiating, and the war just continues to drag on and on. It's obviously turning into Iraq War too. Anyways, CNN has put together a montage video of Trump promising over the past 6 weeks how the war is coming to the end very soon. Let's take a look at this.
It's going to be finished pretty quickly. I do see a deal in Iran. Yeah, could be soon. We are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I think it's close to over. Yeah, I mean, I view it as very close to over. I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want, and it should be ending pretty soon.
Okay, so the war is going along swimmingly. I wonder why Trump hasn't mentioned over the 400 casualties on the U.S. side and at least a dozen service members have been killed. So that's swimmingly? Are you serious? I mean, it's just so ridiculous. And the sad part is his brain dead supporters will believe him no matter what he says, no matter, even though we have it on video of him lying, they'll just buy it. So there's really nothing you can do to change the mind of the cult. Anyways, next up, we have a great report by the BBC. And what's been going on is there's been a lot of high stakes trades being made right before Trump makes some crazy announcement, and which ends up driving the market up or driving it down. Now, if you're buying a ton of options and it goes up, you're going to make a ton of money. If you buy a bunch of puts and it goes down, you're going to make a ton of money. So people have been making millions and millions of dollars, and nobody quite knows who's got this inside information. But the BBC did a great report on this insider trading. Let's take a look.
Traders are making millions after Donald Trump makes a major announcement. Now, there are questions. Is this insider trading? The BBC's found a pattern of spikes in trades just before Donald Trump says something that moves the financial markets. For example, 9 days into the war with Iran, Trump said in an interview that the war was pretty much complete and oil plunged. The first time the public would have known about that was 3:16 p.m. US Eastern Time. But market data shows a surge in trades 47 minutes earlier. Another case involves the online predictions platform Polymarket, in which the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., is an investor. One account made nearly $500,000 by correctly predicting the removal of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro the day before he was seized. The account changed its username and hasn't placed any more bets since. These activities have raised suspicions of illegal insider trading using information that isn't available to the general public. Polymarket told the BBC that it proactively works with regulators and law enforcement to ensure market integrity. There are also people that say that some traders are simply getting good at guessing when the president is going to say something significant. Donald Trump Jr. didn't respond to a BBC request for comment.
Oh, gee, what a shocker. Don Jr. doesn't want to answer a request for comment about insider trading. I can't imagine why. The White House, by the way, has had to issue a memo to White House employees reminding them that insider trading is illegal, which most people already know. So I'm not exactly sure why the White House has to remind its own employees not to break the law. So, anyways, great reporting by the BBC. And this is a topic that really hasn't been covered enough by the U.S. media. Moving on, we have Trump stooge Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk is, of course, one of the biggest hypocrites in the world. And he has actually denounced companies that have used what he calls shady tax loopholes to avoid paying taxes on their profits. However, Reuters reports that, surprise, he's doing it. Reuters reports Tesla units in the Netherlands and Singapore in recent years posted $18 billion in profits. Now, that money was actually made in the US and it was moved over to those countries. This money was not taxed in those countries. Without the help of this financial maneuver, those profits would likely have been reported and taxed in the US. This is a common corporate tactic known as profit shifting, and the maneuver likely enabled a savings of more than $400 million in taxes. Now, let's flash back to October of 2024 when Musk was campaigning with Trump. Here's what Musk said about doing loopholes. Quote, "I'm often pitched on these loopholes. I'm like, that sounds pretty shady. I don't think we should do that." Sounds like you're doing it. Yeah. Anyways, Elon once again caught another hypocritical lie. This happens quite often to him. And now we're finally going to move on to Trump's FBI director, Kash Patel. And he is furious because The Atlantic, which is a great magazine, great website, they recently did a story about him. They used over two dozen sources to report that he was allegedly engaging in excessive drinking and excessive unexplained absences. So now Kash Patel has decided to sue The Atlantic for $250 million, which is what he announced on Fox News. Let's watch him whine.
And so you know what? They can beat their drums and stand next to toxic waste all they want, but that doesn't make it toxic waste. And Maria, I'm happy to announce on your show that we're not going to take this laying down. You want to attack my character? Come at me. Bring it on. I'll see you in court.
So you're going to sue them?
Absolutely. It's coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow you will be dropping a lawsuit against The Atlantic magazine.
Yes, I will, for defamation. And because you know what, Maria? We have to fight back against the fake news. It's one of the many things that President Trump is so successful at in leading out on, because no one is attacked as baselessly as he is and as much as he is.
Okay, so Trump really hasn't been that successful. In fact, his lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal was thrown out by a judge. So I don't know exactly what Kash Patel's talking about. But anyways, Patel is suing for $250 million. And what's interesting about this case, if it goes to trial, is that The Atlantic will have access to Kash Patel's files during something called the discovery phase. And this is what happens in every court case. And I can only imagine what they could possibly find in those files. It could be very damning. Alrighty, that's all we have for today. Remember, we do back up our stories. We have links right below the videos. We use evidence, unlike right-wing podcasters like Joe Rogan and Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and Jimmy Dore, all those liars. We actually back up what we say. Please like and subscribe, or hate and subscribe. And feel free to write some hateful comments below the video. We don't care, because we back up what we say with facts. We don't have to scramble. We're staying right here. All righty. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.